Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rockbridge County High School on this beautiful day here in Lexington, Virginia, as your Southern Virginia Knights take on the Eagles of the University of Mary Washington. My name is Jake McMahon. I'm joined here this afternoon with Nick Porter as we get ready to watch some Knights baseball.
It's great to be here with you, Jake. We have a single game. The Eagles of Mary Washington coming to this game at 14-16 overall, with a conference record of 6-9. Last time they matched up, these two teams, was in Fredericksburg on March 22nd. The Eagles topped the Knights 11-6 in that conference game.
And the Knights coming into this baseball game 10-26 on the season overall, 2-13 in the conference, ranked 10th in the Capital Athletic Conference. The University of Mary Washington ranked 8th. Relatively evenly matched teams here, Nick, this afternoon as the Knights try to get back on track, pick up their third one in the Capital Athletic Conference of the season. As the season comes to a close, not really having the season they hope to have, but looking to maybe salvage some wins here late.
And I think they can do it. This is Riley Daniels on the mound for the Knights in his 8th start of the year, 1-6 this season. But he seems to do a nice job for the Knights, and especially on games where we're broadcast. There's kind of been a funny trend with Riley having really good games when he's on the broadcast.
Absolutely, and with regard to Knights batting, you have to mention a couple of our top hitters here for Southern Virginia University, namely number 2, Colt Critchfield, who will be batting third in the lineup today. He's batting a nice .388 here on the season, and then you have Connor Mason for the Knights, who's batting .375 on the season. He's not in the lineup so far, but a few batters here on the Knights lineup that have some serious potential to get some runs in.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens here. Right fielder Brian Burns lead it off for the Eagles.
First pitch of the game here by number 2, Riley Daniels, goes right down the center. Leading off for University of Mary Washington is number 10, an outfielder Brian Burns, who goes for the bunt. Fouls it off. Count is now 0-1. Pitch number 2 coming in for the Knights. Just high and outside. Count is 1-1. Outside, looks like Daniels throwing a lot of 4-seamers and 2-seamers right off the bat. Not a whole lot of breaking in the first 3 pitches. Count is 2-1. And that is right down the center, but just high. The count will now be 3-1 for Brian Burns. Hitter's count here. You look for something that he can hit. And he does swing on it, fouled off. And the count is now 3-2. Daniels looking to bag his first strikeout of the game on the first batter. Really be a good confidence booster for him.
That's exactly what you want on a leadoff batter, is an out, and we'll take it any way we can get it, as that's batted into fair territory.
And that is a routine fly out for the Knights as Daniels gets his first out of the game on his first batter, and that's a good start for the Knights defensively. Number 11, Thomas Weaver. Now taking the plate for the University of Mary Washington is number 11, Thomas Weaver, a senior out of Salem, Virginia.
So that fly ball was caught in right field by Cole Critchfield. In the field for the Knights, like we mentioned, pitching is Riley Daniels with Jordan Kefir behind the plate. Zach McNally playing at first. Alex Brugos at second base. Third base is Skylar Cloward with Ryan Morin at short. In the outfield, you have Ryan Saunders, Josh Hilburn, and Cole Critchfield.
And you can see Daniels here trying to work the lower outside portion of the plate there against number 11, Thomas Weaver. Just paints the outside of the plate on that first one for a first strike, and then a ball on the second pitch. But you see he's really trying to work the outside of the plate against Thomas Weaver. Now 2-1, the count on the second batter of the game for University of Mary Washington. High fly ball out to center field, and another routine pop out or fly out for the Knights, as that'll take us to 2 outs in the top of the first inning. And what's nice so far, these first 2 batters, and especially be extremely important for Daniels to maintain his stamina at the beginning of this game, is is not going too deep with batters here. He's been able to get out of these two batters relatively quickly, and ideally he'd get out of this first inning with a relatively low pitch count.
And that's exactly what the Knights hoping for. They've played the last 2 days. On Monday, pulled off a win at Roanoke last night at Eastern Mennonite. And so they'd like to have Daniels pitch as much as he can, as a lot of pitchers have been throwing lately for the Knights, and some on short rest.
And Ryan Daniels making quick work here of the third batter for University of Mary Washington number 5, Christian Haig, who I believe is also pitching for the Eagles today. But Haig doing a great job at staying in this one here as he went 2 strikes into the count quickly and has now fouled 2 off. Count remains 0-2 for Ryan Daniels. Looking to paint the outside of the plate there. And just outside, count now 1-2. Daniels looking to get out of this batter here with a third out, 3 up, 3 down for the Knights.
So Haig is listed as the pitcher and the designated hitter. Bats .310 on the season.
And that is a routine ground out for the Knights as it goes to the third baseman, number 5, Skylar Cloward. Over to number 9, Zach McNally. The Knights go 3 up, 3 down at the top of the first inning. No hits, no runs, no men left on base. Score remains 0-0 as we prepare for the bottom of the first inning. We are about to get started here in the bottom of the first inning as number 27, Ryan Saunders, a junior from Christiansburg, Virginia, takes the plate for the Knights. Saunders, a great batter, great leadoff for the Knights as he faces number 5, Christian Haig from University of Mary Washington. The Knights haven't seemed to have tons of issues getting going on the batting end of things this season. Really, if the issues have come into play, a lot of times it's been on the defensive side of things. So the Knights will look to keep things going here batting, stay tight on defense today to come out with this win against University of Mary Washington. First pitch from Haig goes low, down the middle and low for ball 1, count 1-0. And Saunders cracks one deep into right field, and that is over the fence. Second pitch of the game for Ryan Saunders, and he goes yard over the right field wall, and the Knights immediately take the lead 1-0 after an impressive Ryan Saunders first at bat of this baseball game, Nick.
There's nothing better you could have there as the first batter, leadoff batter, Ryan Saunders. Just do your job to get on base or to score, and that's even better.
Absolutely. Did you see him cross home plate just with a straight face? Nothing but business for Ryan Saunders and the Knights as he comes out with the first at bat of the game, first home run of the game, And the Knights gain some serious momentum off their first batter. Now up to the plate is the pitcher, number 2, Riley Daniels. So pitcher against pitcher here. And when you speak about that home run and pitching, it's really nice for Riley Daniels as well, Nick, to have that cushion going into these first few innings and maybe build a little bit of confidence as the Knights really put them ahead a few runs.
That's right. It's a lot easier to pitch when you're ahead in the count, ahead in the game, and that's exactly what Riley Daniels needs. To just continue to throw strikes, get outs is a nice cushion. Sometimes a good offense is the best defense.
And on our third pitch here of the at-bat, Haig goes changeup, paints the right side of the plate. Count now 2-1. Fourth pitch coming. And it's Daniels cracking one over the left field wall. Home run for the Knights on the fourth pitch for Riley Daniels, the pitcher for the Knights. He goes yard. So 2 batters for Southern Virginia University and 2 home runs, as Haig has to be wondering on the mound right now, what in the world is going on? Right off the bat, the Knights putting on a clinic from the plate right off the bat here.
And you mentioned, Jake, that the Knights, they have had their struggles this year. Runs, especially non-conference game, has not been one of those. This year they've had 218 runs scored in all contests. Last year the Knights only had 143 runs and 94 in conference. And right here we just saw the 93rd and 94th run in conference for the Knights this year, with still 8 innings to go today and a doubleheader coming up on Saturday against St. Mary's.
First pitch of this at-bat against number 6, Cole Critchfield. Goes strike, second pitch strike. Count now 0-2. Critchfield finding himself in a little bit of a hole here. We'll have to keep a good eye on the ball to hang in this at-bat. Third pitch coming. Well outside. Looking to get Critchfield fishing on that one. The catcher for University of Mary Washington, number 8, Bryce Rooney, out to the mound to have a conversation with this pitcher as they're looking to get the first out of the game. And they really need this out here, Nick, as surely confidence is already wavering for Haig, as you do not want to go first 2 batters of the game, 2 home runs in a row. That does a lot to the confidence.
And you rarely see. Now we have the coach for the Eagles heading out to the mound. Something you haven't seen a lot in the first inning for either team this year. But as events would have it, that's what it's come down to, is Haig has given up 2 runs on 2 hits that have each gone over the fence and is only in his 3rd batter.
And they really need to get Cole Critchfield out here, or they definitely want to, as Cole Critchfield, the 3rd batter in the lineup for the Knights. And with regard to frequent starters for the Knights, he is the best hitter for Southern Virginia University, as we mentioned earlier, with a batting average of .388, slugging percentage of .496. I mean, those are some pretty impressive stats that really at any level of baseball, you're hitting over 300, you're doing pretty well. .388, .496 slug percentage. This would be a great guy for Haig to get out here.
And Cole's going to do everything he can to not let that happen. He's second on the team with 9 doubles, has 1 triple and 1 home run. So he's just a good, solid hitter who makes contact, and he's fast, and that gets him on base. So Haig's taking a couple warm-up pitches. You wonder if he's also on short rest or a little bit injured or just flustered, and this is a way to get it out of his system. So we'll see as we go forward in this inning.
To recap so far this first inning, we've had 2 batters. We're on our 3rd batter right now, number 6, Cole Critchfield. First batter, number 27, Ryan Saunders, with a home run off of the second pitch of the game for Haig. Second batter up was our pitcher, Riley Daniels, who on the 4th pitch of his at-bat also went home run over the left field wall. The Knights lead 2-0. 4th pitch of this at-bat coming. And he goes low and inside, bounces off the ground and off the catcher's mask, as the count is now 2-2. Critchfield doing a good job as he went 0-2 in the count early, now 2-2. The coach for University of Mary Washington taking the field again, as he will have another conversation with Haig. And you wonder if there's going to be a really early pitching change here for the University of Mary Washington, as the coach is already looking back at his bullpen.
Well, and by rule, if you make 2 mound visits in the same inning or 3 to that pitcher in one game, you do have to make a change. And so we see here coming onto the field is number 15 for the Eagles, Paul McClure, a senior right-hander from Alexandria, Virginia, who will take the mound here in the bottom of the first inning.
And Haig is a freshman. So, I'm sure he's experienced a few growing pains at the NCAA level, or the college level, rather, this season with a little more intense gameplay. And now Coach looking to try to get back on track here for the University of Mary Washington as he puts the senior into the game. Surely a little more experience, maybe a little more composure here, but nonetheless, Coach is realizing that they can't get down early to the Knights or else it'll be a very steep uphill battle to come back. So as number 15, Paul McClure takes the mound, he will enter into the game against Cole Critchfield with a 2-2 count. Knights leading 2-0 here in the top of the first, or the bottom of the first, rather. So as we mentioned earlier, Nick, the Knights coming towards the end of the season here. University of Mary Washington Day, obviously here's what you're watching at home. And this Saturday, the Knights will have their senior day. That is April 15th, this Saturday against the St. Mary's of Maryland. Those games will begin at 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. respectively. Don't forget to join us here on SVU Watch It for the Knights Senior Day as they take on St. Mary's of Maryland in their final Capital Athletic Conference contests of the season prior to their final game of the season at Eastern Mennonite University on April 17th at 4 p.m.
And seniors for the Knights who will be recognized Saturday will do that recognition before the first game at about 11:50 Eastern Time. Those seniors are first baseman Zach McNally, the catcher Jordan Kefir, center fielder Josh Hilburn, as well as pitchers Justin King and Crosby Jensen. So those 5 seniors will play their final 2 conference games and their final doubleheader of the season on Saturday. We just got word that the Eastern Mennonite game the Eastern Mennonite game that was rescheduled, rained out, that was supposed to be at home a couple of weeks ago, has been moved to Monday afternoon at a 4 p.m. start time. So 3 games left for the Knights, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Monday, and that'll be the end of the season and the end of the career for these 5 seniors.
Now Saturday's a busy day here at Southern Virginia University, Nick, with a few senior days going on. You want to tell us maybe about some other SVU action or Southern Virginia University action on Saturday?
So we've got baseball that begins at noon, doubleheader, noon and 3 against St. Mary's. Softball, although it's not senior day for softball, they will also play a doubleheader beginning at 1 o'clock at Harvey Dryden Field, 1 and 3 p.m. And in the nightcap, women's lacrosse will be at home against Wesley at 7 p.m. for senior day, and we're looking forward to that.
5th pitch of the at-bat, first pitch for number 15, Paul McClure. The hard grounder by number 6, Cole Critchfield for the Knights, takes a wild bounce over the head of number 6, Garrett Lyons for the University of Mary Washington. Looked like that would be a routine ground out, but the ball took a massive hop into right field, and Cole Critchfield may have gotten away there with the ground out, but instead turns into a single for the Knights. And now cleanup hitter number 9, Zach McNally, takes the mound. Strike called on the first pitch. Count 0-1. Looked a little high and outside, but must have just painted the outside of that plate. As the Knights have their first man on base of the game. Mary Washington going for the double play. And the first baseman has to come off the bag. That is number 42, Steven Johnston. And it looks like that Ryan McNally would be safe on first base.
The first baseman tried to make that tag. He was off the base, reached back to see. But Logan Mann, the head coach of the Knights, making a visit to the field umpire to see if the home plate umpire had a better view. So the umpires will talk, come to a conclusion, and Zach McNally will be safe at first base. Fielder's choice in the scorebook. Critchfield out at second, and McNally reaches safely to first base.
Number 30, Ryan Morin.
Fifth in the lineup for the Knights is number 30.
It's Ryan Morin. Usually wears number 13. Today he's wearing number 30.
As McNally takes a lead off at first. McClure looks over. Second pitch, well outside. 1-1 count for Ryan Morin. Now Ryan Morin not with one of the top batting averages on the season for the Knights, but tied for fourth most runs scored on the team with 23 runs scored, 8 doubles on the season, and 51 total bases. So not necessarily the highest average on the team, but when he does get a hit, it's frequently for extra bases.
Another thing Ryan has done is he's earned 10 different, he's been walked 10 times and hit 6. So his on-base percentage at 380, although batting percentage or batting average of 308. So Ryan, one of those guys who just finds a way to get on base, and then you worry about his quickness as he can get around the bases pretty quickly.
And, you know, you say not one of the top averages on the team, but then you go to the average, Nick, and it is 308. So you say not the highest on the team, but that's still pretty darn good. And so, as you can see, the first 5 batters for the Knights with great batting resumes thus far in the season. As Ryan Morin's hanging in this at-bat with a 2-2 count. And he hits that one straight into the gap of the infield, straight to the center fielder, and that'll go for a single. The Knights now with 2 men on base. Ryan McNally at second. Ryan Morin at first base as number 23, the catcher for the Knights, Jordan Kefir, walks up to the plate for his first at-bat. Right now, the Knights having lots of success here in the first inning batting. First pitch, swung strike. And that looked like a pretty good pitch to swing at. Looks like Jordan Kefir chose that one pretty well. Just wasn't able to connect. 0-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning for the University of Mary Washington. And that one looked to be over the plate just a little high. Count now 1-1. McClure checks the base runners. As he thinks about going for the pickoff at second base, as McNally had a pretty large leadoff there at second, decides not to go for it. Kefir swings, foul, off of the catcher's mask. Count remains 1-2 here.
And this is the guy you want up in this situation with runners on base. Kefir has 3 home runs on the season, second best on the team behind Daniels, who has 6. But Kefir does a great job as well about getting on base. His on-base percentage is .409, which is 5th highest on the team. So just does a great job at knowing the pitches, and also has earned 16 walks with just 13 strikeouts this year.
And Kefir doing a great job at staying in this at-bat as he went 1-2 quick here in his first at-bat of the game. Count now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning as Kefir looks to make some contact, get on base, or possibly get walked here by McClure. And he goes well outside. Kefir with the great eye.
Kefir, a senior, he's been catching for a long time. He knows the box, he knows the count, and he knows how to get on base by hitting it or by getting walked. Either way, you're doing your job moving the runners.
Bases now loaded for Southern Virginia University. Ryan McNally on third, Ryan Morin on second, Jordan Kefir on first base as number 5, Skylar Cloward. I keep saying Ryan McNally, Nick. Thank you for reminding me of that. It's Zach McNally on third base. What would I do without you, man?
He looks like a Ryan sometimes.
Zach McNally on third, Ryan Morin on second, Jordan Kefir on first. 0-1 count for Skylar Cloward in his first at-bat of the game. Second pitch low and down the middle. Called ball. 1-1 the count. And this is where the Knights want to be here in the bottom of the first inning, as they already have 2 runs. A nice cushion there for Riley Daniels, who's on the mound for the Knights. Well, only 1 out and bases loaded. You imagine they'll come away with at least 1 more run as long as they don't get themselves into a soft or even hard ground out double play situation here in the bottom of the first. As long as even you can maybe boot some deep into the outfield, you might fly out, but you can get some sacrifice runs in. A breaking ball away from number 5, Skylar Cloward, goes for a strike. Count now 2-2.
And this is Cloward's 10th start of the season, his 40th at-bat, and he's called out there on an infield fly. Remember, under 2 outs with runners on first and second, any routine or easily caught fly ball in the infield is ruled an infield fly as an automatic out. And that'll bring up Alex Brugos.
Alex Brugos batting 8th in the lineup for the Knights. And the Knights almost already through their lineup here in the first inning, as Brugos takes a swing, goes foul out in right field. Count now 0-1 for Brugos. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The Knights trying to get out of a situation where if Brugos were to get out here, they leave 3 on base. You never really want that. And he hits that straight up the middle into the infield gap, and that will score 2 as Zach McNally comes in to score. Ryan Morin from second base. That is a 2 RBI single for number 10, Alex Brugos, as the Knights now go up 4-0 on the Eagles of University of Mary Washington here in the bottom of the first inning. Now with Jordan Kefir at second base, Alex Brugos at first base, and the 9th and final batter in the lineup for the Knights, number 24, Josh Hilburn, takes the plate.
And interestingly, Jake, a couple interesting stats here. When the Knights have scored less than 2 or less runs, they haven't been able to come away with a win. So, in this league,
this is the first inning you talk about.
No, in the game.
In the game, okay.
And so at this level, run scoring is paramount. But when the Knights have scored in the first inning, they are 5-8. When the opponent has scored in the first inning, they're 6-18. So that didn't happen. So Knights have a 4-run lead, and when the opponent scores first, the Knights are 7-18 overall. But when the Knights score first, they're 3-8. So it's only happened 11 times this season where Southern Virginia has scored first. This being one of them, and we'll see where that'll take us.
Count now 2-0. Hilburn with 2 balls hits that over the second baseman's head and into center field as Jordan Kefir rounds third base and is safe at home. And that is also number 10, Alex Brugos, rounding second base. The Eagles looking to get him out at third base, but the third baseman drops the ball. He's called safe. And so that is an RBI single for Josh Hilburn, as he is now on first base. Alex Brugos on third base. And the Knights go up 5-0 as Ryan Saunders will have his second at-bat of the game here in the bottom of the first inning.
There's nothing better as an offense or as a player to be up twice in the first inning. So this is great news for the Knights as they're looking to finish this season with some wins, some that have escaped them this year, especially getting one back from Mary Washington, who beat the Knights earlier this season.
Saunders, as we mentioned, second in bat of the game, first at bat as he led off for the Knights here in the same inning. On his second pitch of the game, went yard over the right field fence, home run, as that was the first scored run of the game for the Knights. Ryan Saunders looking to double his money here in his second at bat in the first inning. With a good eye here, count now 1-1 for Ryan Saunders. McClure just looking to get out of this inning, as following the first 2 home runs, it was number 5, the freshman for University of Mary Washington, Christian Haig, who was pulled out quickly. McClure now with 3 earned runs against him. And the count goes to 2-1. Deep fly ball into the same region he earned that home run at his first at-bat. Not nearly enough distance this time, as he has a fly out into right field, and that is the third out for the Knights in the bottom of the first inning, as the Knights scored 5 runs off of 2 home runs. A single from number 6, Cole Critchfield. A single from number 30, Ryan Morin. A 2 RBI single from number 10, Alex Brugos, and an RBI single from number 24, Josh Hilburn. A lot of scoring being done here in the bottom of the first inning, Nick.
And the Knights will hope to continue that. Daniels takes the mound again. Hopefully have another short appearance here on the mound. And we'll do it all over again.
And the Eagles couldn't have had really a worse first inning. I mean, for a lot of reasons, other than the fact that you go down 5-0 in the bottom of the first inning immediately. I mean, you also have to think of pitcher stamina. You pull your first pitcher after the first 2 batters. Now you have McClure on the mound, who has the 3 earned runs against him. And just momentum aside, in being down 5 runs aside, you also have to worry about your pitchers getting just fatigued. They're only through two half innings of play, or 1 inning for the University of Mary Washington, already through 2 pitchers, and both of them have pitched a good amount for 1 inning.
Yeah, it will sure be interesting to see how that will affect them. And their bullpen may be a little deeper. I'm pulling up their schedule here to see that they have not had the week that the Knights have had, playing both Monday and Tuesday. The Eagles did have a doubleheader Sunday, lost both of those games at York in conference play. And they did play Monday, earning a win at Virginia Wesleyan 7-6. So they did have yesterday, they were able to rest, but it does look like both teams playing here quite a few games in just the last few days.
In the first at bat of the top of the second inning for University of Mary Washington was number 42, Stephen Johnston, who goes with the line drive over the shortstop's head into left field for a single. Second at bat of the inning for University of Mary Washington is number 7, Kyle Bynum, who has now 2 strikes against him after a foul tip into the glove of Jordan Kefir there. Count 0-2. No outs for the Knights here in the top of the second. Third pitch coming. And that goes right down the pipe for a no-swing strikeout. Backwards K for Riley Daniels, his first strikeout of the game against number 7, Kyle Bynum. First out of the inning for Southern Virginia University. Now taking the plate is number 18 for the Eagles, Ramses Ruiz. First pitch goes strike. And Daniels looking to find a little bit of a rhythm here in the top of the second inning following the first hit against him by number 42, Stephen Johnston. Looking to go outside of the plate. Called ball, count 1-1. And that is just on the right side of that plate, painting it again as he's done so frequently here in the first 2 innings. Count now 1-2. Ball goes into the dirt. Ruiz with the good eye. Second ball of the at-bat. Count now 2-2, 1 out for the Knights. 1 man on base.
Oh, we got him.
And that is a beautiful double play by Zach McNally as the ball line drive into his glove, unable to handle it, dives to bare hand catch that, and keeps his right foot on the bag as Johnston was leading off of first base. Nothing he could do about that. Wonderfully athletic play by Zach McNally at first base as the Knights get out of the top of the second inning with the double play. That was impressive.
You know, we tried to make that look harder than it seemed to be to us, but, something you're not expecting, line drive right to him, and he was able to come up with that. So great athleticism exhibited by Zach McNally. Riley Daniels gets out with just 1 hit, although the Eagles leave no runners on base. And they're only through 6 batters here, Jake, and the Knights are starting their second time through the lineup.
You're exactly right, and it's now going to be number 2, Riley Daniels, the pitcher for the Knights today, taking the plate for his second at-bat, just like Ryan Saunders in the bottom of the first inning, also went yard over the left field fence for a home run in his first at-bat of the game, as he looks to double his money today in his second at-bat. But the University of Mary Washington probably on their toes a little bit here, Nick, as they're wondering why this maybe isn't going so well as it did the first time for them out against the Knights this season. And it's not just not going very well, it's really not going well for them right now, as the Knights are playing some really tight defense and hitting really well to start off this game.
At bat for the Knights, number 2, Riley Daniels.
Daniels at the plate, second at bat of the game, first pitch coming in from McClure. And that is right down the pipe, fastball for a strike. Daniels did not swing on it. Count now 0-1. And the hard grounder to first base, Daniels just missing first base as McClure does a great job of recovering from the botched field from the bouncing ground ball straight at him. And he gets the out at first base. That'll be a ground out for Riley Daniels. Now taking the the plate for the Knights is number 6, Cole Critchfield, who in his first at-bat of the game had a single after really hanging into that first at-bat as he went 0-2 really quick in that first at-bat and then was able to fight back to a full count and come away with a single.
Critchfield just been a great addition to this team from Star Valley, Wyoming. They're flying out to left field, but he's one you don't see go down often, on striking out often, just 16 strikeouts and 129 at-bats. So his on-base percentage, again, high in the 400s with the best batting average on the team.
Cleanup hitter number 9, Zach McNally. Not to be confused with Ryan McNally, who doesn't even exist. Thanks, Nick, for correcting me on that last inning. His second at-bat of the game. First at-bat, reached first base on fielder's choice. Now looking to get his first hit of the game. Count is 0-1. Second pitch coming, and McNally swings on it over the shortstop's head into center field for a base hit, and McNally will get his first hit of the game. Now 1-2 on the game, as number 30, Ryan Morin, takes the plate for his second at-bat of the game. As you can recall, in the bottom of the first inning, got a base hit in his first at-bat. McClure looking for the pickoff against McNally at first base. McNally taking some pretty substantial leadoffs here in these first 2 innings. Unable to be picked off so far. As Morin goes deep into center field looking to go over that back wall. Just doesn't have the distance, and that will be the third out for Southern Virginia University in the bottom of the second inning, as the Knights unable to score any runs. Had some promise as McNally got on base, and looks like Morin, with just a few more feet, might have gone over that center field wall to put the Knights up another 2 runs, but not able to do so as the Knights lead 5-0 going into the third inning.
At-bat number 6, Garrett Lyons.
The start of the third inning here at Rockbridge County High School. The Knights of Southern Virginia University against the Eagles of University of Mary Washington. Leading off for the University of Mary Washington is number 6, Garrett Lyons. As he looks for the bunt, called strike for Riley Daniels. Count 0-1. As Daniels goes straight over the plate again. Now 0-2, Garrett Lyons behind in the count here quick in his first at-bat of the game. And Daniels goes straight over the plate 3 in a row. 1-2-3, makes quick work of number 6, Garrett Lyons, for his second strikeout of the game. That is another backwards K, no swinging strikeout.
Number 41, Xavier Webb.
And Riley Daniels really feeling it right now, Nick.
He's just in a great place with a 5-run lead. He's been hitting well. He's been pitching well. and it's just going to get better for him as we go forward.
And that one looked to be straight down the middle again, but just a little low. Called ball, 1-0 count for number 41, Xavier Webb of the University of Mary Washington, in his first at-bat of the game. Count now 2-0. And it's worth mentioning that we are in the third inning, and this is only the 8th batter for the University of Mary Washington so far tonight. It's been making very quick work of the Eagles lineup.
Dano's doing a great job at getting fly balls, ground outs, and strikeouts. And McNally last inning with that athletic play, which prevented the only hit from advancing to second base and doubling him off first. So 7 batters, 7 outs, and we'll see what comes of the next 2 batters this inning as Webb goes up 3-1 and is walked to first base.
Number 8, Bryce Rooney.
Rounding out the batting order for the University of Mary Washington is number 8, Bryce Rooney, who takes the plate for his first at-bat of the game here in the top of the third inning. Low and inside, count 1-0. Second pitch of the at-bat coming, looks for the pickoff. And Xavier Webb looking a little slow to get back to the bag there. Close call, but called safe on the attempted pickoff. Daniels just outside on that second pitch. Count now 2-0. Third pitch coming. And that goes right down the middle. For a little change of speed there, a little slower pitch. Count now 2-1 with 1 out here in the top of the third inning. Goes for the pickoff again, unsuccessful. Safe is number 41, Xavier Webb, on first base. Here comes the pitch. And that is a ground straight to the second baseman. Straight to the baseman, number 10, Alex Brugos, who is able to tag number 41, Xavier Webb, out. Safe at first base is number 8, Bryce Rooney, who reaches first on fielder's choice. And we are back to the top of the lineup for the University of Mary Washington with number 10, Brian Burns, for his second at-bat of the game. The Knights with now 2 outs here in the top of the third inning, 1 man on. First pitch comes swinging for the fences is number 10, Brian Burns, unable to connect. 0-1 count.
Burns, the right field senior from Oak Hill, Virginia. The last inning flew out to right field, and now down 0-1 in the count in his second at-bat.
And that is deep into right field. Routine fly out for the Knights, as the Knights able to get out of that inning with no runs scored. And no hits. Only runners on base by way of walk and fielder's choice. And so far, Riley Daniels threw 3, no earned runs, only 1 hit against him, having a great first 3 innings so far for the Knights, as the Knights go into the bottom of the third, leading the Eagles of University of Mary Washington 5-0.
number 23, Jordan Kefir.
Back in action here at Rockbridge County High School as the Knights enter in to the bottom of the third inning. Leading off for the Knights is number 23, Jordan Kefir, who was walked in his first at-bat of the game. First pitch comes, called ball. Count now 1-0. McClure on the mound for the University of Mary Washington. He's a senior from Alexandria, Virginia. 3 earned runs against him in the bottom of the first inning as he was brought in quickly following the first 2 batters of the Knights in the bottom of the first. Was able to get out of the bottom of the first inning after having 3 runs scored on him. Gets out of the second inning with a clean slate, and here looking to get back to work in the bottom of the third inning. Jordan Kefir following the first ball of the at-bat, now down 1-2 in the count. And that is thrown low and into the dirt for a second called ball. Count now 2-2. Kefir makes contact to the shortstop, and that is a ground out to the shortstop as the Knights pick up their first out of the inning, or the Eagles now with 1 out on the inning. And it is now number 5, Skylar Cloward, the third baseman for the Knights, taking the plate for his second at-bat of the game, who flew out in his first at-bat, looking to get his first hit of the game here. Called strike on the first pitch of the at-bat. Count now 0-1. Swings on it, does not make contact. Now down 0-2 quick in his second at-bat of the game. High and outside. Count now 1-2. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. And Cloward pops that one up. Foul hanging in this at-bat. Count still remains 1-2. And even when you find yourself down in the count like this, Nick, it's nice to be able to get some fouls. Unable to do so there as he strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning for University of Mary Washington. But as long as you can hang in those at-bats, you can get a lot of pitches out of a pitcher regardless of whether you get out or not. And in that case, he does get out.
You're right, Jake, and every pitch will wear on a pitcher, and every chance you can get a foul ball, you continue to get your timing down, and you see a lot of strikeouts after good battles, but you also see a lot more hits as the batter starts to understand the pitcher's where he's going, and what he's thinking up there on the mound, and now Brugos earned himself a 1-1 count.
Brugos fouls that one off. Now 1-2 in the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning, as McClure is able to salvage a little bit of momentum for himself, as he's done pretty well from the mound here in the second and third inning thus far against the Knights. Brugos with the soft grounder to the third baseman. Really hauling for that first base to try to get safe there, but a routine ground out there for the University of Mary Washington, who go 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the third inning as the Knights are scoreless in the bottom of the third. Now entering the fourth, the Knights continue to lead the Eagles of University of Mary Washington 5-0. Here we are in the top of the fourth inning as the University of Mary Washington takes the plate once again, and it is number 11, Thomas Weaver, for his second at-bat of the game, who flew out in his first at-bat, looking to get his first hit of the game. Breaking ball high and inside is Daniels, swung on by number 11, Weaver, who fouls that off. Now down in the count quickly in his second at-bat of the game. Count is 0-2. As Riley Daniels has had a very successful first 3 innings here against the Eagles with 2 strikeouts and only 1 hit against, no earned runs. Looking for his 3rd strikeout of the game, goes high and outside for a called ball. Count now 1-2.
Daniels up 2-0 or up 0-2 in the count. Often see him go outside, try to get the hitter to chase one there and get a swinging strikeout. Does so again, and Weaver fouls him off. Thomas Weaver, a senior from Salem, Virginia, is the 2nd highest batting average on the team, batting .319 on the year for the Eagles, with a fly out to the center fielder in the first inning. A check swing there, and we'll even the count at 2-2.
And that almost looked to be straight down the pipe, but just a little high. Doesn't come nearly halfway around there. On the swing, count now 2-2, as you said, Nick, for the 5th pitch of the at-bat, or 6th rather, after a foul tip earlier. Low and outside. Kefir holding the glove out there for a little bit longer, maybe hoping for a late strike call. Count now full at 3-2. As we have the battle of wills here between Daniels looking for his 3rd strikeout and Weaver looking for his first hit. Pitch comes, and that is fouled off as we have a battle going on here at the plate between Weaver and Daniels. And as we mentioned earlier, Daniels will be looking to get out of this at-bat as he's using up a lot of pitches here on one batter. And the pitch is low and outside, and he will give up the walk to number 11, Thomas Weaver.
Number 5, Christian Haig.
That'll bring up the designated hitter, Christian Haig. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Jake, Haig was listed in the starting lineup as the starting pitcher and the DH. He came out early in the first inning, but he'll remain in the lineup as the designated hitter. He's hitting .310 on the season. That's 3rd best on the team. Although he grounded out in the first inning, he'll try to do something here and get the Eagles on the board.
0-1 the count as Daniels looks to pick off number 11 Weaver at first base, unsuccessful. Count remains 0-1, 1 man on. No outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Second pitch comes low and outside as Weaver looks for a possible wild pitch there from Daniels as Kefir stands up quickly to make sure he doesn't run for second base. Count now 1-1 against Haig. Paints the outside of the plate. Daniels having a lot of success hitting that outside portion of the strike zone here thus far. Count now 1-2 for Daniels, looking for his 3rd strikeout of the game. Or maybe a ground ball right up the middle of the second baseman or shortstop. Force a double play here. Kefir goes to second and gets him at second base with a beautiful arm by Kefir as he points to that bicep. Looks over at the dugout, points at his bicep. He knows that was right on the money. And a beautiful throw by Kefir to get the first baseman trying to steal Weaver at second. And now no men on base and 1 out for the Knights. As Daniels comes with the count 1-2, Haig swings on and gets his 3rd strikeout of the game, and the Knights once again here in the top of the 4th playing some tight defense here, Nick.
No, that was the 4th time rather, that a runner has been on. Runner was the first hit for the Eagles came in the 2nd inning. He was later called out on a fielder's choice, out on his way to second. In the 3rd inning, Daniels walked Webb, who was tagged out by the by the second baseman, number 10, Alex Brugos. and Zach McNally also doubled one of those runners off on first base. So not a lot of runners getting on and not a lot of them staying on for the Eagles.
Third pitch of the at-bat comes against number 42, Steven Johnston, who has recorded the only hit of the game thus far for the University of Mary Washington, who went for a single in his first at-bat. Now with a 2-1 count here. And that goes deep into left field. And just at the back wall, caught by the left fielder there, Ryan Saunders for the Knights, as the Knights go almost 3 up, 3 down, but not quite. 3 batters, 3 outs, rather, for the Knights, as the University of Mary Washington unable to score once again, and the Knights go into the bottom of the 4th inning, leading 5-0. Daniels on the mound now with 3 strikeouts and only 1 hit against this entire game, having the game of the season thus far for the Knights.
It was just an unconventional 3 up, 3 down, Jake.
Is that what we call it?
Well, why not?
McClure now taking the mound again in the bottom of the 4th inning as he prepares to take on the Knights. We'll be back in a few minutes with some more Knights action as the Knights look to extend their lead over the Eagles of University of Mary Washington.
Number 24, Josh Hilburn.
Bottom of the 4th inning here at Rockbridge High School as the Knights take on the Eagles of University of Mary Washington. Leading off for the Knights in the bottom of the 4th is number 24, last batter in the lineup for the Knights, Josh Hilburn, a senior out of Granite Bay, California.
And if you're just joining us, you missed a great first inning by the Knights. Back-to-back home runs led off by Ryan Saunders and Riley Daniels to take a 2-0 lead. The Eagles made a quick pitching change, and the Knights were able to get 3 more runs on 3 more singles from Ryan Morin, Alex Brugos, and Josh Hilburn. So Hilburn up for the second time this game. First at bat was a RBI single to bring across Jordan Kefir, and he goes down 1-2 in this at bat.
And our behind-the-plate umpire really being liberal with the pitches on the outside of the plate here today, calling a lot of them that look maybe a little more outside than the strike zone would typically extend, but at least he's being consistent here, Nick.
That's all you can ask for is consistency. You usually won't see a pitch argued in the first inning, let them establish them. But once they change the strike zone, that's when you can get concerned, but I think he's doing a great job. And so is Hilburn there with his second single of the game, right up the middle to reach first base.
And that's exactly what the Knights are looking for here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as the Knights have 0 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. First at bat goes for a single, and immediately the Knights have a man on as Ryan Saunders takes the plate for his 3rd at bat of the game. 1-2 on the day. First at bat with a home run, second at bat with a fly out. Looking for his 2nd hit of the game here.
And Josh Hilburn is a dangerous runner when he gets to first. He's successful 10 out of his 12 stolen base attempts, which is the best average. Ryan Morin also has 10 stolen bases. So Hilburn, very quick in center field, very quick on the bases, and so McClure trying to keep him honest and keep him on first.
And as you can tell immediately here in the second at bat at the bottom of the 4th inning, Nick, is that the Eagles have obviously done their research, as McClure has already tried to pick off Hilburn twice here at first base, obviously knowing or recognizing that he is a danger to the Eagles with regard to stolen bases. As Hilburn goes, and the throw not quite to the second baseman, bounces off. Second baseman does a good job at fielding him, but just too late as Hilburn now with his 11th stolen base of the season. Now 11 for 13 as the Knights, with no outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning, now have a man on second base. As Hilburn in the first at-bat went for a single and now a stolen base. Ryan Saunders in his third at-bat of the game with a 1-1 count. And Saunders goes right up the centers, the shortstop unable to field. And because of that stolen base by Josh Hilburn, he's able to reach home here on the single by Ryan Saunders, who in his third at-bat goes for an RBI single, and the Knights go up 6-0 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. That is just beautiful, well-planned out offense there by the Knights.
Number 2, Riley Daniels.
Now in his third at-bat of the game is Riley Daniels, who's having an absolute day thus far on the mound for the Knights. And also having a pretty good day from the plate, Nick, as he, in his first at-bat and fourth pitch of the game, or fourth pitch of his first at-bat, hit a home run. And he will fly out here just past the infield dirt to the shortstop, as the Eagles of University of Mary Washington will record their first out of the inning.
Number 6.
And you could see Saunders almost to second base before being called back to first because of the fly out. A hit and run called there with Daniels doing a great job making contact, getting the ball in play. The potential to get Saunders to third or even to score if that would have turned into a base hit.
Critchfield down the left field line is able to go for a single as Saunders looks to go for third base. Coach Mann was calling for him to come to third base, but Saunders just a little hesitant, will stay on second base. Cole Critchfield with his second hit of the game, now with 2 singles. He is now 2 for 3. The Knights with Cole Critchfield on first base, Ryan Saunders on second base, and Zach McNally now up to the plate for his third at-bat of the game and has 1 single thus far in the game as well. That came in the second inning, as he also reached first base on fielder's choice in the first inning. First pitch called strike. 0-1 is the count.
There's that generous outside corner again for you, Jake.
And that is probably the third time this game that McClure has thought about going to second base for a pickoff opportunity. But luckily he's done a good job at keeping the balks away, as that's what you worry about when you hesitate going for one of those. McNally hits into right field, bounces off the ground to the right fielder, and Saunders will round third base and come home, as McNally will record an RBI single here in the bottom of the fourth inning for his second hit of the game. Now with 2 singles and an RBI, the Knights now go up 7-0 here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and the Knights just putting on an offensive clinic thus far here in this baseball game against University of Mary Washington. Now at the plate for the Knights is number 30, Ryan Morin. He has a single thus far in the game. First pitch of the at-bat. Low and down the center. Count now 1-0. Morin goes almost into the gap as the right fielder with some pretty good speed there. And at second base, the Knights called out That is number 6, Cole Critchfield, called out at second base as the right fielder for University of Mary Washington. Puts on a show there with some good speed, as it looks like Ryan Morin went into the gap there and would surely be a 2 RBI double.
I sure thought he did. Coach Mann thought he did. Cole Critchfield thought he was there. That play at second was a lot closer than it looked. I was surprised to see Critchfield and Coach Mann accept that one, but you pick your battles, and the Knights get away with 2 runs and have a 7-run lead going into the 5th inning. So not much more you could ask for, especially from a team that beat you last time they played you.
Absolutely, and the University of Mary Washington will be wiping the sweat off of their foreheads and maybe with a sigh of relief there as the bottom of the 4th inning comes to an end. Certainly a lot of pats on the back there for the right fielder for the Eagles, as he might have saved another 2 runs. The Knights could be up easily 9-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning with only 1 out, but instead come out with a double play there to end the inning and get themselves away with no more runs scored. But as you said, the Knights can't complain at all as they come away with 2 more runs, now leading 7-0 as they get ready to enter the top of the 5th inning against the Eagles of University of Mary Washington. Daniels, as we mentioned multiple times, having a great game, 3 strikeouts, only 2 hits, or 1 hit against rather. And this could certainly be the highlight of his season as if he continues to perform the way he is.
Number 7, Kyle Bynum.
Center fielder Kyle Bynum will lead us off in the top of the 5th inning. Struck out looking in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. And takes a called strike there to start things off.
0-1 is the count. Bynum looking to get out of this at-bat. Not striking out, will not strike out, goes deep over the center field wall with a redemption slam. Almost around 400 feet there. I'm not sure exactly how deep this field is here, Nick. Probably not 400 quite.
Not quite.
But Bynum with some redemption there as he goes yard over the center field fence and gets some things starting offensively for the Eagles, who desperately need it here in the top of the 5th.
Number 18.
It was a little deceiving, though, Jake. Looked to be a line drive. Looked that maybe Hilburn could get there or that it'd catch the top of the fence, but just sneaks over for the first Eagles run of the day.
And that is a deep foul ball over the right side of the field as number 18, Ramses Ruiz, the sophomore out of Mao, Dominican Republic, takes the plate. And that is a beautiful ground by the shortstop, who is unable to make the throw over to first base, but that's a beautiful play. Could have easily been a possible double as Ruiz seemed to have some good speed on the way to first base there. Might have been a burner, in which case if that had gotten past the shortstop, he might have made it to second, but saves the single there with a beautiful play there at shortstop. That is Ryan Morin, I believe. And the Eagles of University of Mary Washington getting some things starting here offensively here in the bottom of the 5th. First 2 batters with the second 2 hits of the game. Riley Daniels looking to get his first out against number 6, Garrett Lyons, a freshman out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, who also struck out in his first at-bat. And you liked the looks of that pitch there. Unfortunately, called ball might have just been a little low. But the count now 1-0 against Lyons. The timing of the throw definitely good there on the steal attempt by Ruiz there at second base, but just a little high. Certainly could have been out. But because the pitch was a little high, Ruiz will be called safe at second base.
Not sure Burgos was able to keep that in his glove either, Jake, if there was even a play made, but Ruiz slides in, safe at second. And Lions up 2-0, and now 2-1 in the count.
That ball flies deep, almost into right field. Will go foul. Number 6, Garrett Lyons, now 2-2 in the count as he looks for his first hit of the game. No outs for the Knights here in the top of the 5th inning. 1 run scored for University of Mary Washington on a home run by number 7, Kyle Bynum. And 1 man on at second base is Ruiz. That goes deep into right field and also foul as the count remains 2-2 for Garrett Lyons. Two and two count here. Top of the 5th inning, no outs. 1 man on. Here comes the pitch. And a breaking ball way inside against Lyons. Count now full, 3-2. As Riley looks to pick up his first out here in the 5th inning. And Lyons swings on it as Daniels paints the outside of the plate there, gets his 4th strikeout of the game. Lyons will have his 2nd strikeout in his first 2 at-bats. And Daniels able to get one back there as he gets his first out of the 5th inning. Now at the plate for the University of Mary Washington is number 41, Xavier Webb. And that's popped up into right field.
Runner thought about tagging there, but saw the location of the catch and maybe knew the arm of Cole Critchfield and held up at second. Probably a wise decision.
Yes, Critchfield shows an impressive arm as the ball makes it all the way to third base from the right field. And the Knights now with 2 outs here in the bottom, or the top of the 5th inning rather, as number 8, Bryce Rooney, takes the plate for his 2nd at bat. McNally holds off the pitcher and gets the routine ground out at first base as the Knights get 3 outs in the top of the 5th inning. And the Eagles of University of Mary Washington see their first light on the offensive side of things this game with their first run by number 7, Kyle Bynum, who redeems himself following a strikeout in his first at-bat, but goes yard over center field fence for the first home run of the game for the Eagles, and the first run, that is, for the Eagles, as they get on the board, now trailing the Knights 7-1, entering the bottom of the 5th inning. Now we're entering the bottom of the 5th inning here as the Southern Virginia University Knights take on the Eagles of University of Mary Washington.
Kefir.
Recapping the top of the 5th inning, the University of Mary Washington able to get their first run at the game on a home run by Kyle Bynum over the center field fence, trailing the Knights 7-1 here. Jordan Kefir in his 3rd appearance at the plate in this game in the 1st inning with a walk. His second at bat, or his 2nd appearance at the plate with a ground out, looking for his first hit of the game against number 15. Or rather, it looks like we had a pitching change, and I wasn't able to see it, but Jordan Kefir goes deep for the 3rd home run of the game for Southern Virginia University over the left field fence. Jordan Kefir records his 4th home run of the season, and the Knights go up 8-1 over the Eagles of University of Mary Washington. On the mound now is number 32, Bryant White, who starts off his campaign here in this game against the Knights in a way that he didn't want to start off, Nick. 2nd pitch of the at-bat, or was that first rather? I might have missed. I think it was first of the at-bat, 2nd of the at-bat, you say. Jordan Kefir goes over the left field fence for a home run, and the Knights getting things started quick here.
At bat number 5, Skylar Cloward.
Now at the plate for the Knights is number 5, Skylar Cloward, the 3rd baseman. His first at-bat with an infield flyout, 2nd at-bat with a strikeout, looking to notch his first hit of the game here as he gets ahead in the count early, 2-0. And that is right down the pipe for White. Count now 2-1. Cloward swings for the fences on that 4th pitch of his at-bat. Count now 2-2. And Cloward looking to salvage this at-bat here with a hit, or maybe even escape with a walk. Here comes the pitch, and Cloward swings on it, knocks it deep in the left field direction, but foul. Count remains 2-2. And here comes the pitch. Cloward swings on it again, makes contact, another foul. And Cloward's doing a great job here in his 3rd at-bat of the game to hang in there and really fight for a possible hit. Really making White earn an out here. Cloward with another connection and another foul. And as we've mentioned a couple times before here, Nick, so far in this game, Cloward, at least no matter what the outcome of this at-bat is, doing a great job at really eating up the pitch count here for White. And it looks like the first base umpire said Cloward went a little over halfway around there, although that would have been well inside for another walk. But he will strike out. That is his 2nd strikeout of the game. Now 0-3 from the plate at the game. Now taking the plate for the Knights is Alex Brugos, number 10, who is 1-2 so far in the game with a 2 RBI base hit, looking to get his 2nd hit of the game. Swings as that's right down the pipe. Right pitch to swing on, unable to make a connection with it. Count now 0-1. Brugos swinging again, unable to make connection. Now 0-2. As he swung on 2 good pitches, just unable to connect with the ball. And now going to have to fight to stay in this at-bat.
Alex Brugos is a freshman middle infielder from Dinwiddie, Virginia, in Dinwiddie High School.
And that is into the gap as the right fielder is able to show some speed again and get to it pretty easily. If there was a warning track here at Rockbridge County High School baseball field, it probably would have been near the warning track as it had some good distance on it, but just not enough for a home run as he flies out for the second out of the inning for University of Mary Washington. And Josh Hilburn takes the plate for his third at bat, 2-2 thus far in the game with 2 singles and an RBI. And looking to get on base here. First pitch called strike, 0-1 is the count, and as you recall in the last inning, the Knights had a lot of success really getting Hilburn on base as he stole second base while Saunders was at the plate. Saunders hit a great single, and Hilburn was able to bring it home, and you'd love to see something similar here as the ball flies into right field for Josh Hilburn. Routine fly out for University of Mary Washington, and that is 3 outs for the Eagles. And the Knights get away from the bottom of the 5th inning with 1 run scored by Jordan Kefir in his 3rd appearance at the plate of the game as he goes yard for a home run, his 4th of the season over the left field fence. Knights now lead 8-1 over the University of Mary Washington. Leading off here in the top of the 6th inning for the University of Mary Washington, and back at the top of the lineup for the Eagles is number 10, Brian Burns. And what a beautiful play there as we had a little peach grounder softly down the third base line as Riley Daniels runs over, barehands it, and beams it over to Zach McNally at first base for the ground out. And that was a beautiful athletic play there by Daniels, just showing a lot of potential talent here in this ballgame thus far. The home run, great athletic defensive play there, a good amount of strikeouts, only 1 earned run against through 5 innings. Just doing a great job here.
Yeah, especially against a batter like Brian Burns, who last time the Knights played the Eagles had 3 hits, including 3 RBIs with a triple in that game. So one of the reasons that the Eagles were able to beat the Knights in the first place. He's now 0 for 3 on the day with that ground out back to Daniels.
And that was a beautiful breaking ball there by Daniels as it looked inside there for Weaver, who probably didn't swing on it because it was inside, but broke beautifully right over the plate. And the count is now 1-1 with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Pitches in deep into center field. And that is back at the fence as the Knights throw it in, looking for the cutoff man, but into Ryan Moore in the shortstop, and that will go for a first hit of the game for number 11. Thomas Weaver will go double. Now 1-2 on the day. And now at the plate is the designated hitter, number 5, Christian Haig for the Eagles, who is 0-2 on the day with a ground out and a strikeout. First pitch strike, count now 0-1, 1 man on for the Eagles at second base. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. And that Was a wild pitch to say the least. Must have just slipped out of the grip there pretty early for Riley Daniels. You don't see many pitches like that. I mean, that's really kind of the only explanation there is that ball came slipping out. Needs to make sure he keeps that hand dry, maybe with a little chalk or dirt. But runner will advance from second. Thomas Weaver now on third base. Count 1-1. As Haig goes into right field, and it will fall fair. Weaver will advance, and a run will score for the University of Mary Washington, now trailing 8-2 here in the top of the sixth. Haig will get a RBI single on that at-bat with his first hit of the game.
Number 42, Stephen Johnston.
Now at the plate for his third at-bat of the game is number 42, Stephen Johnston, who has a single so far on the day. He was the first hit of the game for the Eagles.
And Johnson leads the Eagles with a .357 batting average, highest on the team. And he's the guy you want up in this situation with a runner on and one out. And we'll see if Daniels can sit him down one way or the other.
And once again, another generous outside ball called in favor of the Knights this time. Count now 1-1. And Daniels really trying to work the outside of the plate there. Keeping it low in the zone, trying to force a ground ball. And he does right there. Beautiful job there by Daniels as the Knights go for the double play and will pick it up and get out of the top of the sixth inning. And exactly what the Knights were looking for. Coach Mann immediately in the face of Riley Daniels, giving him a high five and telling him good job. And that's exactly what he needs to hear as he was able to pitch that at bat near perfectly, forcing the double play. The University of Mary Washington will get out of the top of the sixth inning with another run scored, now trailing the Knights 8-2 as we enter the bottom of the sixth inning. Riley Daniels, only 2 earned runs against him, a few hits, and 4 strikeouts thus far. Still having a pretty good game. You wonder how long Coach Mann will continue to keep him in the game. It's really a question of stamina and how tired he is right now because he's pitching pretty well.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go all 9 here. One benefit of having a relief pitcher come in the 7th is a chance to get the save. With the run margin, one would have to pitch 3 innings in order to get the save. So there's that benefit. But Daniels is on a roll. I think Coach Mann is definitely considering both options. He did list Daniels as the pitcher and the DH. So if he were to bring in a new pitcher, Daniels would remain in the lineup to hit, which is a benefit, which probably makes it a little easier on Coach Mann to make a decision to change pitchers and maybe get Daniels ready for Saturday or Monday when the Knights have their next game.
So we will take a short break here as we prepare for the bottom of the sixth inning. Knights leading the Eagles 8-2 here at Rockbridge County High School baseball field. But a much shorter break than I anticipated as Ryan Saunders takes the plate. We will not take a break. Here we are at the beginning of the bottom of the sixth inning. Ryan Saunders up to the plate now for his
Number 27, Ryan Saunders.
4th at-bat of the game. So far, 2 for 3 on the day with 1 home run and an RBI base hit. Looking to get his 3rd hit of the game here in the bottom of the sixth inning and go 3 for 4. Pitch well inside. Count now 1-0. Number 32, Bryant White in his 2nd inning here. Pitching for the University of Mary Washington.
You know, for Saunders, this is his 3rd pitcher he's faced this game, and that'll be the same case for Daniels coming up right here as Saunders is called out on the ground out to the shortstop. So again, Saunders hit a home run over the right field fence, followed by a Riley Daniels home run over the left field fence against the starting pitcher Christian Haig, and then Haig was pulled. So both Saunders and Daniels facing their 3rd pitcher of the game, and they're the only ones who'll be able to say that thus far.
First pitch right down the pipe, called strike. 0-1 is the count. Daniels in his 4th at-bat of the game, looking to get his 2nd hit That first at bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Saunders just barely out, as he showed some great speed and almost beat the throw on what would have been an easy out for almost any other, against any other batter. But Saunders with some great athleticism. But nonetheless, 1 out here for the Eagles in the bottom of the 6th. Third pitch on. Called strike. Count now 1-2. Breaking ball outside, called ball. Count now 2-2 against Riley Daniels. Looking for his second hit of the game. Pitch comes in. And that is well inside. Would have been a called ball. Daniels swings at it nonetheless, shakes his head a little bit, knows that he probably shouldn't have swung on that one. First strikeout of the game, now 1-4 with 1 home run. Now taking the plate for the Knights with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning is number 6, Cole Critchfield, who is 2-3 on the day with 2 base hits so far. And he puts that right up the center. Shortstop does a good job fielding that one and getting the out. And the final out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Looks like Critchfield put that right where he wanted to put it, but just not enough power, soft enough where the shortstop was able to make a great play on it. And that is 3 up and 3 down for the Eagles in the bottom of the 6th inning as the Knights are unable to score but continue to lead University of Mary Washington 8-2 as we prepare for the 7th inning here at Rockbridge County High School Baseball Diamond. Here we are in the top of the 7th inning as the University of Mary Washington leads off with number 7, Kyle Bynum, who is in his 3rd at-bat of the game. Struck out in his first at-bat, but redeemed himself with a home run in the first run of the game for the University of Mary Washington, his 2nd at-bat. And he goes deep again. Not able to go over the fence this time, but into the gap of center left field, and is able to notch a double there for University of Mary Washington. Now 2-3 on the day with a home run and a 2-base hit. As that hit looked very similar, Nick, to his 2nd at-bat where that home run went over the center field fence, but looked more like a line drive. That one did too and had the makings of a similar home run, but just not enough distance.
Exactly what I was thinking. That would do the same thing, or well, I actually thought the first one would do that, hit the fence, but you see Bynum making quick of the bases, getting to second base, and now in scoring position as Ramses Ruiz takes the plate.
Ramses Ruiz with some impressive offensive play in his last at-bat, gets the single, able to steal second base, and comes home. as he pops that high into right field. And as long as the right fielder can locate it, Cole Critchfield, he will have it. And Ruiz thinks about advancing to third base there on that flyout to right field. But as was demonstrated earlier in the game, Cole Critchfield with a pretty good arm. And Bynum with a pretty good memory on that one decides not to advance to third base and will remain at second as the Knights notch their first out of the 7th inning.
Number 16, Robert Cross.
Now taking the plate for the University of Mary Washington is number 18, or rather 16, pinch hitting, it looks like, Robert Cross, the freshman out of Charlestown, West Virginia, in his first at bat of the game. And he will be pinch hitting for number 6, Garrett Lyons. And probably necessarily so, as the coach for University of Mary Washington probably pull Lyons following his first 2 at-bats, both strikeouts, looking for some offensive momentum. Count now 1-1 here for Robert Cross. Count now 1-2 against number 16, Robert Cross. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning, 1 man on, Bynum at second base. Count now 2-2 against Cross in his first at bat of the game. Here comes the pitch. Right down the pipe, Cross swings on it, and Morin going for the out at first base. Beautiful play as he backhands it, is able to make a full spin and throw. You know, you really worry about the control of the thrower on a play like that, but Morin puts it right on the money to McNally with a beautiful out at first base as the Knights notch their second out. Ruiz, or Bynum rather, does advance to third base, but if the Knights can get out of this 2-out situation, they could get out of this inning without Bynum scoring, which would be nice. Now up to the plate for his second at-bat, third appearance of the game, is number 41, Xavier Webb, who was walked in his first appearance at the plate. His first at-bat flew out. And here in his second at-bat is now even at 1-1 in the count. Kyle Bynum for the Eagles at third base. In scoring position, the Eagles looking to continue their offensive momentum that they've gained somewhat since the 5th inning. Pitch on high and inside. Rather, now 3-1. Kefir, the catcher for the Knights, out to the mound to have a conversation with his pitcher.
Just a quick reminder, all Kefir's saying is doing great. Keep it up, 3-1. Throw me a strike, give me a ground ball right here, and we'll get out of this inning.
And he throws that right down the pipe. Would have been a called strike. And Daniels able to get out of the inning as Kefir shows the wise experience there to go have a little conversation with his pitcher there as he went down 3-1 in the count. And Kefir able to give his pitcher a little bit of that confidence. And that's the kind of leadership you get from the seniors and the experience from these players who have been around for a while here on the Knights team as he goes out to the mound and really might have been the catalyst for a saved inning there as the scoring run was on third with Kyle Bynum able to get out of the inning with no runs scored. So great job there by Kefir with the conversation, and a great job by Daniels to force that high pop-up in the infield as he gets the third out of the inning.
And we'll head into the 7th inning stretch. Head over to gear.svu.edu. Get your summer gear, tailgating equipment, camping gear, chairs, coolers, as well as also our winter clearance, sweatshirts, coats, official online store of Southern Virginia Athletics, gear.svu.edu.
To recap the top of the 7th inning, no runs scored for the University of Mary Washington. Kyle Bynum with the only hit of the inning with a deep double to the left center field gap. Almost looked like a second home run for him, but unable to get over the fence. And the Knights get out of the inning with 3 outs as Bynum is lurking on third base with the potential third run of the game for the Eagles, but Daniels doing a great job to make quick work of the final batter of the inning. And the Knights will now take the plate, leading off with number 9, Zach McNally, the first baseman for Southern Virginia University, who lead the Eagles 8-2 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Zach McNally.
McNally 2 for 3 so far in the game with a base hit in his first at bat and then an RBI base hit in his second at bat, or his third at bat rather. Now looking to notch his third hit of the game. 1-0 is the count. White on the mound for University of Mary Washington, now in his third inning. And White will hit Zach McNally, looks like right above the knee on his right leg as McNally runs a little wobbly over to first base, but strong, looked to take it well. And that is the first player hit by a pitch so far in this game. As McNally will take a base now on first base, and Ryan Morin up to plate for the Knights at his 4th at bat of the game. 1-3 so far in the day with a base hit, as the Knights look to extend their lead now with a man on base. And Morin, high fly ball. And it just stays inside the fence. It's number 42, Steven Johnson, the first baseman for the Eagles, running, looking to see if that ball might fly over the fence or he might be able to get it. Unable to get to it. And rather than a fly out, Ryan Morin will get away with just a strike, and the at-bat will continue. Count now 0-1. Pitch coming. And Morin hits that right up the center. Second baseman unable to get to it, and that will go for a base hit as Zach McNally advances to second base. Ryan Morin now on first, and the Knights getting some offensive momentum here in the bottom of the 7th inning as the first 2 batters are both on base. Zach McNally hit by the pitch in his 4th at bat of the game. Ryan Morin now 2 for 4 with 2 base hits on the day as Jordan Kefir takes the plate for his 3rd at bat of the game. Walked in his first appearance at the plate, ground out in his first at bat, home run in his second at bat, and now with his 3rd at bat, 4th appearance at the plate, Kefir looking to double his money with another hit, possibly home run in a perfect situation, Nick. As White looks to go, but the referee calls time.
You mentioned earlier McNally hit by a pitch. It seems he does that more than any other night on the field. Actually, his 11th time being hit by a pitch, which leads the team. Ryan Saunders has been hit 8 times this year. Ryan Morin been hit 6. So McNally with it's one way to get on base, and we'll take it. It sometimes hurts a little, but now he's in scoring position. So that pain's gone, and all he's thinking about is getting home.
First 2 pitches go for 2 balls by White for University of Mary Washington. Count now 2-0. And that pitch will go low inside as well, and you imagine that would, as the control certainly was affected by White, as he's in the windup and still looking back at the second baseman. Not with a very good view of the plate or the strike zone there, as McNally with his large leadoffs obviously doing a little bit of distracting from White. As White goes high and over the middle for now a 3-1 count. And that pitch down the middle, but a little high, as Kefir is walked for the second time in this game. Still 1 for 2 with 1 home run. And now the Knights find themselves in a bases loaded situation on the offensive side of things. No outs. And this is exactly the type of position you want to be in if you were the Knights. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, McNally on third, Morin on second, Kefir on first, and number 5, Skylar Cloward, taking the plate for his 4th at-bat of the game. 0-3 thus far. Infield fly out for this first at-bat and a strikeout on the second and third at-bat. So if you are the Eagles, this is definitely the guy you want at the plate thus far. But Cloward looking for some redemption here and maybe a couple RBIs, his first hit of the game. A good opportunity here for Cloward. As he fouls off on his first pitch. And as you recall in his third at-bat, although he did strike out, he probably went 8 or 9 pitches deep with White there in the bottom of the 5th inning, and so did a good job at really eating up some pitches.
He did. Cloward's a guy who's going to swing at good pitches, going to swing at strikes. Didn't swing at that one, a little inside, but called for the second strike.
Count now 0-2, and Cloward in danger of his 3rd strikeout of the game. Infield shifts up. Shortstop and second baseman shift to the very edge of the dirt here. Looking to induce a ground out here. And that is low and outside for the first ball of the at-bat. Count now 1-2. Cloward fouls another one off, and the count remains at 1-2 as Cloward's doing a good job at hanging in this at bat again. Hopefully this time he can change the result and come away with the hit. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bases loaded for the Knights, and an opportunity for Cloward to knock in a few more runs. Ball low and outside into the dirt, bounces off the catcher's chest guard. And we now have a 2-2 count as McNally and Coach Mann hold off the rest of the runners on a potential wild pitch scoring situation. Pitch comes way inside. Cloward turns away from it, almost possibly taking it in the tricep there, but doesn't do so. Now full count. Cloward doing a great job. Went down 0-2 initially in this at-bat. Now full count. As Cloward doing a great job at hanging in there again. As he swings on it and strikes out for his 3rd strikeout of the game. You got to commend Cloward for doing a great job at hanging in these at-bats. Now 2 at-bats in a row. He went 0-2 immediately and ended up in a full count with a lot of foul tips. But unfortunately doesn't get the result he wants there in his 4th at-bat.
Number 10, Alex.
And what you want to see is a batter who's swinging at good pitches, making contact. Obviously, we would have liked it to go into fair territory and become a scoring opportunity for the Knights. But Cloward with the good at-bat, just unable to find the right timing and get one in play here.
Pitches lower and inside and over the plate, called strike. 0-1 is the count against Alex Brugos. 1-3 thus far in the day with a 2 RBI single so far in this game. Looking to notch a few more RBIs. And he tips that one off, falls down in the count 0-2. And White on the mound with a good opportunity here for another possible strikeout, possible ground. Ball to the shortstop or second baseman to force a double play to get out of this inning. It would be a great feat defensively for the Eagles if they were able to get out of this inning with the bases loaded and no runs scored. And we have a wild throw to the first baseman as the Eagles get the force out at home for the first out, and first out of that play. Second out of the inning. Throw to the first baseman, Steven Johnston. Wild pitch rolls into right field as the Knights are able to advance. Another runner, Ryan Morin, from second base all the way home. Jordan Kefir advances from first base all the way to third base. And the Knights are able to score their 9th run of this ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch called ball, 1-0 count against Josh Hilburn. 2 for 3 on the game with 2 base hits and an RBI. Fouls that one off. Count now 1-1. Now on that last play, Nick, run us through that last play there as the play went to home base for the force out against Zach McNally and played to first. Wild pitch. Is that considered an error against the Eagles?
So because the throw went through, it is going to be an error, and which is why the runner was able to advance home, and Burgos was able to get the second. So the fact that Burgos reached first base, that's not going to be an error. That's going to be a fielder's choice because the Eagles were able to get an out at home. But because of the wild throw, which extended him to second base and scored a run, you'll have a fielder's choice and an E2 on the batter.
And White making quick work of Josh Hilburn there, getting the final out of the inning as Josh Hilburn will strike out. White with a few earned runs against him, but also able to notch 4 strikeouts so far through 4 innings pitching, or 3 innings rather. He pitched the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th inning thus far and getting 4 strikeouts. So White having a little bit more success on the mound than his other pitching counterparts so far. But also the Knights still doing a good job at pounding in some runs consistently here, even against White. So the Knights now go up after 1 run scored in the bottom of the 7th inning, 9-2 over the Eagles of University of Mary Washington. Leading off here for the University of Mary Washington in the top of the 8th inning is the last batter in the lineup for the Eagles, number 8, Bryce Rooney, who is 0-2 thus far in the day, now in his 3rd at-bat. First at-bat, fielder's choice, reached first on a fielder's choice, and then his 2nd at-bat with a ground out, looking to notch his first hit of the ball game so far in his 3rd at-bat. Count now 1-1. Riley Daniels, who started the game for the Knights, still on the mound, has notched 4 strikeouts and only 2 earned runs so far against him. Pitching a pretty good game is the freshman here in his, I believe, 8th start of the season. That is a line drive to center field. And the center fielder, Josh Hilburn, able to make the easy catch.
Number 10, Brian Burns.
He made that look easy, Jake, but that sun's starting to sink down a little bit. Right in those outfielders' eyes. It is a beautiful day out here, though. We can just take a second to celebrate how nice it is outside.
You're not kidding. At first I thought with that sun nice and high in the air, my neck was going to roast as you and I popped our collars a little bit back to the junior high days with the pop collars. But as you said, that sun sunk down a little bit. It's cooled off. Blue skies, a few clouds. Just absolutely beautiful here in Lexington today. Couldn't ask for a better day for baseball. Second at bat of the top of the 8th inning is number 10, Brian Burns, as he flies out to left field. That is Ryan Saunders in left field for another routine flyout for the Knights. Or maybe not so routine with the sun, as you said, Nick. But the Knights able to make quick work of the first 2 batters. 2 quick flyouts, 2 outs. No men on base here in the top of the 8th inning, and Daniel's doing a great job to continue this great game so far. Now at the plate, number 11, Thomas Weaver for University of Mary Washington, who notched his first hit in his last at-bat with a double. Swings on a strike for his first pitch of this at-bat. Count is 0-1. And that pitch right there was the 100th pitch for Riley Daniels of this game, now with his 101st pitch. And getting a lot of pitches in here today, Nick.
Yes, but a lot of strikes and a lot of batted balls that the defense is able to make a play on, and you know, I think Coach Mann trusts Riley to finish this game out. He's also considering the doubleheader coming on Saturday and those arms to prepare for that game against St. Mary's, which the Knights are currently tied with, both with 2 conference wins apiece. But it is a lot of pitches, and that one leads to a double by Thomas Weaver, who we mentioned earlier has the second best batting average on the team, and earns his second double of the game. It's the second double in a row.
And trust was the exact word I was thinking of there, Nick, as we see Riley Daniels continuing to take the mound now with about 103 pitches on the game, only 2 earned runs against him, 4 strikeouts, having a great game so far after he started the season 1-6 overall on his starts, now looking to pick up his second win of the season. But it's got to do a lot for the confidence of a pitcher when you're performing so well, and the coach, especially as a freshman, is continuing to keep you in this game and trust you to just go and finish it out. And you also have to commend the batters for the Knights as well for giving Daniels such a great cushion so far, just all around the Knights with a great outing here tonight or this afternoon against the Eagles.
They've also been airless in the field today, so just an overall solid performance. Everybody doing their part to play defense and to get on base and score on the offensive side.
So at the plate now for his 4th at-bat of the game is number 5, Christian Haig, who notched his first hit in his last at-bat with a RBI base hit. Looking to get his second hit of the game. Count is 1-2. Daniels looking for a 5th strikeout or the 3rd out of the inning. And Haig fouls that one down the first base line. Count remains at 1-2. Daniels looking to bag this batter here to get out at the top of the 8th inning. And if he can do this, he'd only need 3 more to end this ball game. And here comes the pitch. Down the first base line, McNally calls off Daniels, who is able to induce the ground ball down the first base line to McNally, gets the 3rd out of the inning, and once again Daniels with a great job here in the top of the 8th inning. Only one hit against, no earned runs, one man left on base, and the Knights go into the bottom of the 8th, leading 9-2 over the Eagles of Mary Washington. Leading off here for Southern Virginia University in the bottom of the 8th inning is number 27, Ryan Saunders, the junior left fielder from Christiansburg, Virginia. 2-4 on the day so far with a home run and an RBI base hit, looking to pick up his 3rd hit of the game. Ball is right down the pipe, a little to the outside of the plate against Ryan Saunders. Called strike, 0-1 is the count. And the Knights lead the Eagles of University of Mary Washington 9-2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights looking to possibly extend the lead just a little bit, or at least maintain it, as the Knights, as long as they can get out of this inning either scoreless or with a few more runs, just need 3 more outs to notch the win here. It would be a great win for Riley Daniels. As it looked possibly that ball would stay in fair play down the first base line, but just rolls out as the count is now 0-2 against Ryan Saunders with that foul ball. Number 32, Bryant White, in his 4th inning pitching here for the University of Mary Washington, looking for his 5th strikeout. It would be the first for Saunders in this game. And Saunders with the hard ground ball straight to White's glove. Good reaction time there by Bryant White for the University of Mary Washington, as Saunders will ground out to first base. First out of the inning for the Eagles. And now number 2, the pitcher and designated hitter for Southern Virginia University, Riley Daniels, will take the plate for his 4th at-bat. 1-3 thus far on the day with a home run in the bottom of the 1st inning. Fouled off on that first pitch of the at-bat. Count is 0-1. Second pitch of the at-bat coming. Daniel swings on, foul. Count now 0-2. White with the 3rd pitch of the at-bat. And Daniel's able to float that just over the shortstop's head into the gap between the shortstop, second baseman, and center fielder for a base hit, and his 2nd hit of the game rather. Now 2-4 so far on the game with a home run and a base hit.
Number 6, Cole
Daniels having an overall good game from the mound and from the plate today. Coach Mann sure is proud of him. Now taking the plate for his 5th at-bat is number 6, Cole Critchfield, the leading batting average batter for the Knights. 2-4 on the day, looking for his 3rd hit with 2 base hits so far.
We didn't get a chance to see Cole Critchfield on the mound today. He's a very unique player. He's ambidextrous in pitching, so he'll throw left-handed to left-handed batters and right-handed to right-handed batters, something I've never seen before and that most don't get the opportunity to see. But just a great overall player, great in right field today, and great at the plate as well.
Critchfield now down 0-2 in the count in his 5th at-bat of the game. Outside is the pitch, first ball of the at-bat. Count is 1-2. Here comes the pitch. Critchfield swings on, fouls it off. Count remains 1-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 man on. Riley Daniels at first base following his 2nd hit of the game. It was a base hit into center field. Another foul tip bounces right off of the plate for Cole Critchfield. Count remains 1-2 as Critchfield doing a great job of hanging in this at-bat, looking to get his 3rd hit of the game here. Hard fastball finds low and outside of the plate. 2nd ball of the at-bat. Count now 2-2. Great job there by Cole Critchfield to put the ball right in the gap between third baseman and shortstop. The shortstop Ruiz over, tries to field that. And I don't think they'll count that as an error. Possibly it's going to depend on the scorekeepers there. That could possibly be a base hit, could possibly be reach first on an error. We'll have to look at the scorebook a little later. And it looks like the scorekeepers will call that an error. So Critchfield will reach first by way of error against the University of Mary Washington. Riley Daniels will advance to second base. And that is Zach McNally with the hard ground ball over to number 18, Ruiz for University of Mary Washington. Takes a nasty bounce. Luckily, he just hits him in the chest. You hate to see a player take a ball to the face there. Unable to control it, but able to get the out at first against McNally. Fielder's choice.
Ryan Morin.
And that is Critchfield reaching second there on the fielder's choice. And now, with 2 outs left, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, we have Riley Daniels on third base and Critchfield on second base. Low and inside against Ryan Morin at the plate with his 5th at-bat of the game. 2 and 4 so far with 2 singles. Count now 1-1. Low and inside for the second ball. Count now 2-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 men on for the Knights on second base and third base. Morin swings on. Tips it off the end of the bat there into the glove of the catcher. Count now 2-2. As White looks first, 5th strikeout of the game here to get out of the bottom of the 8th inning. And that looked low and inside, but the Umpire calling that a strike. Morin shaking his head a little bit. It looks like White might have got away with a lucky call there. But nonetheless, notches his 5th strikeout of the game in 4 innings pitched. And the Eagles of University of Mary Washington able to get out of that inning with 2 runners in scoring position there, as the Knights lead the Eagles of University of Mary Washington 9 runs to 2 going into the top of the 9th inning. As long as the Knights can notch these last 3 outs here in the top of the 9th, they will walk away with the win. Riley Daniels will get his 2nd win of the season and be able to end what has been a very successful day. And we haven't seen Daniels take the field quite yet. We'll see if Coach Mann elects to continue to bring him out for the top of the 9th inning or bring in a reliever. We have a couple guys in the bullpen for the Knights, number 29, Taylor Peterson, and number 8, Jonathan Hodges. And sure enough, it is Riley Daniels taking the mound in the top of the 9th to try to close out this game, pitch a complete game, only 2 runs earned against him, 4 strikeouts so far, and only a few hits. Having a great day both from the mound and from the plate. Prior to the beginning of the top of the 9th inning here, don't forget, Knights fans, that on this Saturday we have a lot of Knights home athletic action here, as your Southern Virginia Knights baseball team will take on St. Mary's of Maryland. Capital Athletic Conference action here at Rockbridge County High School on Saturday at both 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. and what will be their senior day. Also, the Knights softball team taking the field on Saturday, as well as the women's lacrosse team in their senior day as well. First at bat here in the top of the 9th inning is Steven Johnston, the first baseman for University of Mary Washington. He hits a really high pop into left field as Ryan Saunders, unable to locate it a little bit, falls fair just inside the third base line. His coaches were yelling go too, but it looks like Ryan Saunders was able to pick that up and start heading towards the second baseman a little bit, which kept Johnston from advancing on what would have been a double.
Number 7, Kyle Bynum.
Now at the plate for the University of Mary Washington is Kyle Bynum, as he pops one way into center left field and over the fence for his 2nd home run of the game. As we start off the top of the 9th inning with a base hit by number 42, Steven Johnston, who is now 2 for 4 on the game with 2 base hits, and Kyle Bynum, who struck out in his first at-bat and then came back with a home run, a double in his last at-bat, and now a 2-run shot here in the top of the 9th inning. Bynum having by far the best game from the plate for the University of Mary Washington, as they're able to score 2 more runs here in the top of the 9th. The Knights now leading 9-4 instead of 9-2.
And that one actually looked like the home run, Jake. I don't want to discriminate against line drives there, but that one was unquestionable in its distance and power, and it was worth the 2 runs for him. So Riley Daniels still in the game. Coach Mann exchanging a few words with him to see if he still wanted to continue and hopefully close this thing out. He goes up quickly, 0-2 against Ramses Ruiz in the 3rd batter of the top of the 9th.
Ruiz fouls that one off. Count remains 0-2. Riley looking for his first out here in the top of the 9th inning. And that is outside, and that is a location that the umpires called strikes all day, but making Riley earn that one. We're going to make Riley earn this at bat here. Count now 1-2. Ruiz hits one over the head of Brugos at second base for a single. And Coach Mann is going to head to the mound for the second time this inning for Daniels. Daniels will unfortunately not finish this game out, as you mentioned earlier, Nick. Second trip to the mound in one inning means a pitching change, but nonetheless, Mann is going to tell Daniels that he did a phenomenal job this game. But you got to get out of the game. You got to win it. And so at this point, it's probably time for a reliever.
You know, you're right about the rule, Jake, but Coach Mann just said some words to him from the dugout earlier.
He did.
Didn't make a mound visit, so that was the pitching coach, Brian Smith, who visited. So Riley will stay, at least for now, and maybe get one more batter here to see what happens. And this batter will be a pinch hitter for the Eagles, number 25, David Slupik, a junior from Stafford, Virginia.
First pitch fouled off. And what would I do without you, Nick?
Well,
Looked like Coach Mann heading out there to the mound at first. Figured that was his second visit of the inning there. But heck, I'm happy I was wrong. I need Daniels to finish this game out.
Hey, that's why there's two of us.
Absolutely. Second pitch of the at-bat into the dirt. First ball. Count 1-1. Ruiz on first base for University of Mary Washington as he notched his second hit of the game. Foul ball called. Count now 1-2 for number 25, David Slupek. And Ruiz will go back to first base.
And stay tuned after the game as we take a moment and talk with head coach Logan Mann, a man who's in his 8th season this year, will join us on the broadcast following the third out of this inning.
The Knights still looking for their first out of the inning here. Daniels ahead in the count, 1-2, looking for maybe his 5th strikeout as that is fouled off. And number 25, David Slupek, hanging in this at-bat here. And here comes the pitch. Fielder's choice. Good choice there by Brugos, as it would have been a questionable out there at second base. Ruiz with the speed. But the Knights able to notch their first out of the inning.
And that'll do it for Riley Daniels as Xavier Webb comes up to the plate. And now Coach Mann making that mound visit to congratulate him on a job well done. 8 innings is a long time to go, and Riley Daniels did a great job.
No, you got to imagine for sure, despite the 2 earned runs here in the top of the 9th inning and the need to find a relief pitcher, that Coach Mann is extremely proud of his freshman pitcher there, Riley Daniels, and you have to imagine that the words were nothing but positive. But as we mentioned in the first visit to the plate by the pitching coach for the Knights, that you got to come out of this game with a win, and you got to play it safe. And so taking the mound for the Knights is number 8, Jonathan Hodges, the junior right-handed pitcher from Cleveland, Tennessee, looking to close this game out with the final 2 outs. Riley Daniels going 8.3 innings here. And the Knights looking for their 3rd win in the Capital Athletic Conference, 11th win overall in the season. Prior to their last Capital Athletic contests this Saturday against St. Mary's of Maryland, where the Knights have the potential to pick up their 4th and 5th wins in very winnable games against University of Mary. They're playing University of Mary Washington right now. Can't talk. St. Mary's of Maryland on Saturday at 12 and 3 p.m. respectively. Also will be Senior Day, so don't forget to join us then on SVU Watch It here. Same place, different time as the Knights are back in action. Now taking the plate for the Eagles is number 41, Xavier Webb.
Number 8, Jonathan Hodges.
So Daniels enters, or will stay in the game. He's now at third base. So Cloward will come out.
At bat, number 41.
Daniels at third. And Hodges is on the mound for the Knights.
Hodges in his first pitch goes right down the pipe for a called strike. Count is now 0-1 against Webb, who is in his third at-bat, fourth appearance, was walked in his first appearance, fly out in his next two at-bats. Now looking for his first hits. Second pitch of the at-bat, called strike, now 0-2. Hodges making quick work thus far of Webb, looking to finish out this at-bat. Second out of the inning. And over the plate, but just a little high in the zone. 1-2 the count. Hodges checks Ruiz at second base, goes in for the pitch. Low and outside. Good pitch there, as that could have potentially gotten Xavier Webb for the Eagles to fish, but the good eye. Count now 2-2. And that one is low and outside, just barely outside of that plate and strike zone. Count is now full at 3-2. As Hodges is adamant about keeping it on the outside of that plate.
And I can see him going for the same spot here. A walk doesn't hurt you. It just creates a double play opportunity. But he'll go right down the middle, Jake.
And that is right down the pipe. Change up. Change of speed. Right down the pipe, as you said, for Xavier Webb, who tried to start walking to first base to get the ball called there for the walk, but umpire not having any of that. And Hodges, with his first at-bat of the game, will have his first strikeout of the game. And now only needs one more to close this out as the Knights look for a win here at home this afternoon.
And potentially the final batter is a pinch hitter, number 23, Tyler Truslow, out of King George, Virginia. It takes a first pitch strike.
Hodges goes low and into the dirt. Count now 2-1. Against number 23, Tyler Truslow, who's pitch hitting here for number 8, Bryce Rooney. Second called strike. Count now 2-2. And Hodges, if he could get a strikeout here, would strike out the two at bats that he's faced, or the two batters he's faced rather, and would able to walk away, having done the job he set out to do, getting these final two outs of the top of the ninth inning, which would seal the win for Riley Daniels. Just a little high, full count, 3-2. 2 outs in the top of the ninth, one man on for the Eagles on second base. And here comes the potential last pitch of the game. And that is hit deep into left field. And that is over the fence. As the pinch hitter, number 23, Tyler Truslow, does the job he set out to do here in the top of the ninth inning and hits one over the left field fence to knock 2 home. That is a 2-run shot. And now the Eagles down only 9-6 when they came into this inning, down 9-2. 7 runs is a big hill to overcome, but now all of a sudden 3, not so much. However, they are with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th and no men on, so the Knights certainly with the advantage.
And Brian Burns, although the leadoff hitter for the Eagles, is 0 for 4 today with a trio of flyouts and a ground ball back to the pitcher. Stays alive with that one, but also goes down 0-2 in the count. So Hodges just 1 strike away from ending this game.
Goes for that outside point in the strike zone. Just too far, count now 1-2.
We've seen that every time a pitcher's from Southern Virginia has gone up in the count 0-2, they'd go outside, look for him to chase, and then he comes right back, Jake, for the final strikeout of the game.
And Hodges able to strike out the 2 final outs that he needed with 2 backwards-looking Ks there in the top of the 9th inning. 2 runs earned against Hodges here in the top of the 9th. 4 runs earned against Daniels in his 8.3 innings pitched. Daniels will seal his 2nd win of the season following that top of the 9th inning, and the Knights come away with their first win over the University of Mary Washington, 11th overall in the season, 3rd in the Capital Athletic Conference. And certainly a good one here on a beautiful day here in Lexington, Virginia, here at home for the home fans. Coach Mann will certainly be happy with the performance of the Knights here in this game today.
And we look forward to talking with Coach Mann in just a couple of minutes as he begins to make his way up from the dugout. Knights win it here in Lexington 9-6. Ryan Saunders with a pair of runs, a pair of hits, including a home run in the beginning of the game. Riley Daniels with a homer in the first inning, as well as his 2 hits. RBIs for the Knights, coming a pair from Alex Brugos in the first inning, 1 from Josh Hilburn. Ryan Saunders with 1 in the 4th. Zach McNally with an RBI single in the 4th as well. So great performance offensively by everyone on the Knights squad.
Absolutely. As you already went through some of these stats, I mean, a lot of really great hitting so far for the Knights, or so far just overall in this game today. 2 for 5 is Ryan Saunders, a home run, RBI single. 2 for 4 is Riley Daniels, who not only notches the win, 4 strikeouts, only 4 earned runs against him, a home run and a base hit. Cole Critchfield, 2 for 5, 2 base hits. Zach McNally, 2 for 4, 2 base hits and an RBI. And then you also have Ryan Morin who went 2 for 5 as well with 2 base hits. So the Knights just doing some great consistent hitting today. We have with us head coach Logan Mann in his 8th season coaching the Knights. Great performance today, Coach Mann. What do you think contributed to the great performance today?
I've been really proud of the way our guys have responded. We were pretty good all the way around today. Last few games, I felt like we've really been swinging the bat really, really well. And I was excited to see him continue that. So it was a big win for us, and so I was really proud of the way they competed. Riley Daniels struggled a little bit on the mound and being a freshman, and he came out and pitched game of his life. I mean, he was fantastic for us today. Makes us really excited building into next year. That arm can be really good for the next 3 years for us.
And let's talk a little more about Riley Daniels. I mean, we couldn't stop singing his praises during the commentation of the game. Came out only 4 earned runs against him, 4 strikeouts, 8.3 innings pitched, only a few hits against him, just pitched overall really well. And then you add on the fact that in his first at-bat of the game, goes a home run, hits another single during the game. So just an all-around great player. I mean, you have to be happy with the way he played today.
No, he's been really good. He comes from a great high school program out in Utah. Every freshman goes through their learning curves, and he went through his, but he really shortened that learning curve and adjusted really quickly for us. And he's ended up, he's doing really, really well for us. He's fantastic in the infield, and that's the type of pitcher we were expecting to get all year. And like I said earlier, hopefully he builds on that, takes the confidence, and takes it over the summer in these last few games, and really comes back with a vengeance next year.
Heading into the 9th inning, it took a little bit for Riley to get up on the mound again. What were you discussing with him? And then when you made the decision to bring in Hodges, what kind of conversation did you have with Riley?
The only reason he sat in there, anytime you hit your pitcher like we did, and we can't afford to not have his bat in the lineup, obviously, with the way he's swinging it. Going into the ninth inning, he was up around 100 pitches going into the inning, and then he had to finish running the bases there the entire inning. And so all we did was go and sit him down with a towel on him, let him just catch his breath and get his legs back under him. And so that's why he took so long. We just sat him down to help him get his legs hopefully under him. And then out on the mound, I tell our players all the time, we're never, ever going to risk injury for a win. Doesn't matter whether it's this game or a national championship. We'll never risk injury for a win. He reached his pitch count at 122 pitches, and that was all I was comfortable letting a young arm go. And so, we go to Jonathan Hodges, and, you got to buckle up at Rockbridge. You don't know what's going to happen with the distance of the fences. Going in with a 9-2 lead, I told my assistant, no, I'm never comfortable. And so, the one that went out, it is what it is, and it's a home run here. But Hodges made a really good pitch on it. We got the contact we wanted. He just got it 284 feet. And so, but it is what it is. And so I was really pleased with him, the way he responded after that home run and came in and got what we needed done, and we came out and got a victory. So, I was really pleased with all we did. I'm pleased with how we pitched the ball today. We keep doing that, and we're going to be okay for the remainder of the season and then going into next year.
And Saturday, senior day, final doubleheader of the season with St. Mary's. Then we'll head on the road to Eastern Mennonite Monday. But, thoughts ending up the CAC season?
Saturday's big. It's a way for us to go out and every year as we've started and trying to rebuild what we're doing here, the goal is to get a little bit better each year. And we're getting a little bit better each year. And so if we can come out and finish St. Mary's strong and then go to Eastern Mennonite and play well again, we have a chance to really have some momentum with a young group going into next year. So the focus is on St. Mary's and to come out and to play really, really well. That's really all we ask our kids to do is come out and play well. So you can play well and win, you can play well and lose. But if we can continue to play well all the time and consistently, we're going to be pretty good. So I like who we have. I like the athletes that we have. We've shown time and time again we can compete, but we have to be consistent. And that's where we've lacked a little bit with the young group, is just being consistent this year.
And then finally, we may not get a chance to hear from you Saturday, busy day, doubleheader, senior day. What can you say about the 5 seniors who are going to see their last at-bats and pitches at Rockbridge County High School?
This is a group that's been with me for 4 years, and you get really close with them, and they've been a big part of what we're doing. They haven't let us get complacent. They've really battled through all the struggles, through all the rebuilding, and they've really, really kept believing. So you can't say enough about our senior class. Zach McNally, he's as good of a young man as there is. Jordan Kefir, same thing, as good of a young man as you can ask for, competes, and really gives everything he has. Josh Hilburn's done a great job coming out the last 2 years, transferring from junior college. He's done a really good job. Crosby's come over from football, and unfortunately for him, he's battled some injuries. But the way he's handled them and the way he's provided leadership, even though he's frustrated he can't play with injuries, he's been really, really good. And then, Justin King, he's the competitor that every coach wishes that you have. He competes in everything, whether it's, a foot race, an eating race, pitching on the mound. He just loves competing. And as a coach, you want kids that love to compete. And our senior class this year, I really feel like they've done a really good job enjoying to compete. So I love each and every one of them. They've done a great job. They're going to be missed, but we wish them well, and we're really glad they've graced us with their presence. We're honored to have them.
Great, Coach. Thanks for your time. Great win today. We look forward to see you on Saturday.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Recap here at Rockbridge County High School Baseball Diamond. Your Southern Virginia Knights are victorious in their third win in the Capital Athletic Conference against University of Mary Washington, 11th overall win, second win for Riley Daniels on the mound today, who had an absolute great day, both from the mound and from the plate. Only 4 earned runs against, 4 strikeouts, 8.3 innings pitched, 1 home run, and a base hit from the plate. as the Knights prepare to take on St. Mary's. Once again, victorious over the Eagles of University of Mary Washington, 9-6 here at home. I'm Jake McMahon, joined by Nick Porter. Thanks from me, from Nick, from Josh, and the rest of our broadcasting team. Don't forget to join us here at Rockbridge County High School on Saturday for Senior Day here, Knights baseball action at 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.